Hey, what it be? It's your boy Dre OG. Welcome back to the OG family. Make sure y'all smash that like button, subscribe to my channel if you're rocking with the vibes and the content. Look, man, this channel has been blowing again, once again, man. I appreciate my new subscribers, man. Make sure y'all got those notifications on always so y'all can get these videos as soon as they drop. Y'all know the drill. But look, man, we got this dirty facts about history that school probably didn't even teach you. You feel me? Like, this is part 3. You already know it's a lot of stuff that they're not gonna teach us in school, and that is the problem. They don't want to teach you the truth. They want to teach you a narrative. But let's get into this, man. Hopefully y'all having a good day. Just know we're going through this thing called life together.
Philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau would hide in alleyways, pull his pants down, and jump scare women ass first in hopes they would get scared and spank him in self-defense. Apparently, this was his kink. A famous Irish pirate named Anne Bonny would fight with one boob out just to show that not only are you about to get murdered, but you're about to get murdered by an 18-year-old girl. Oh, this?
No. She fighting with the titties out? Oh, hell nah. Look, she'd probably kill me too. I'll just be... You feel me?
This is my murder titty. York. The only slave on the Lewis and Clark expedition was a sensation among indigenous American women. They found the guy quite attractive, and he would tell them that he was part bear, so they would sleep with him in hopes of producing a bear warrior baby. LBJ used to take out his pee-pee and show people how big it was. He referred to it as jumbo, and here's a phone call of him complaining to a clothing company that their pants were too tight on his ladybird lance.
Hang the crotch down where your nuts hang is always a little too tight. If you can't leave me about an inch from where the zipper ends, round under my back to my bunghole.
Dirty facts about history.
That's a problem that most of y'all probably don't even have. So it probably ain't funny to you. But look, it's I don't have it either. But I ain't that close to the zipper, am I?
School probably didn't teach you. Part 15. During their expedition, Lewis and Clark ate their pet dogs, not because they were desperate, they were simply tired of eating salmon. The great magician Houdini once escaped a prison cell while fully nude as to not hide anything to escape. However, what the guards failed to check was that he hid a skeleton key in his ass cheeks. The one time in prison where having a dumpy actually helps you. In the 18th century, sailors on the HMS Dolphin discovered that Tahitian women would gladly trade sex for iron and began pulling nails out, causing loss of the ship's structural integrity. An intern at NASA once stole a safe full of moon rocks, sprinkled them on a hotel bed, and proceeded to have sex with his girlfriend on top of them. Man was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison for getting his rocks off. Raphael, the Italian Renaissance artist, not the Ninja Turtle, died of exhaustion from non-stop sex. Dirty facts about history that school probably didn't teach you. Part 16. Benjamin Franklin was a MILF hunter and would regularly encourage younger men to try out older women. Significantly older women. The Welsh would often steal...
Hey, look though, you feel me though, look. The older the bear, the sweeter the juice, you know what I'm saying? Old ladies know what they want out here in these streets, man. These young girls just be confused and shit, you know? They're just following the next wave.
Sheep from England, but this offense was punishable by death. The loophole to this was when they got caught, they said they were there to simply the sheep, which was considered less bad. Anne Frank's diary talked a lot about puberty and her personal experiences with her own female anatomy. It goes into significant detail, and her father had to go through and edit it all out. While gay sex was considered illegal in Britain in the 19th century, lesbian sex was not. Mostly because their government refused to believe that it was a thing. JFK was dating Miss Denmark in the 1940s, and the FBI was concerned that she was a German spy. They put a recording device in her bedroom, expecting to hear a conversation, but instead just got a lot of dirty facts about
back blown out in that motherfucker.
Probably didn't teach you. Part 18. Ancient Egyptians had a fertility ritual that involved both goats and alligators. The men would flip the alligators on their backs and have their way with them, and the women would go to town on the goats. Colonial couples who hadn't gotten married yet were
Hey, you know what though? Look, that's some real shit though. It is people out here that do that for real, for real. I remember when these dudes used to sell the CDs at the gas stations. Dude gave me a CD, man, and he gave me some free extra ones, and I popped that motherfucker in the DVD, and it was people with animals. Blew my mind. And I was like, what, 17 years old? I didn't know that was what he was giving me. But yeah, it's crazy. It's weird.
Forced to sleep with a block of wood in between them. This practice was known as bundling and would prevent the two from any impure touching. Before Greek soldiers went off to war, they would give their wife what was called an olis bakalix, aka a stale loaf of bread that was meant to keep them entertained. Sounds like a whole lot of yeast infections. If you were a man with a floppy jalopy in the 1300s, it was quite illegal for you to get married in France. And if you were accused of having this problem, you would have to stand in front of a court of law and bash your bishop to prove that all your parts worked. Dirty facts about
what you gonna do? Pull that motherfucker out and what? Throw it on the table? Boom! There we go. It worked. You feel me? Like, don't try me like that. I'm gonna be 90 years old throwing that thing.
Probably
Stop
gonna
playing
teach
with me.
you. Part 17. A princess named Zara Khanam was a symbol of beauty in Persia in the 19th century. She was considered so attractive, in fact, that 13 different men took their own lives when she refused to marry them. Throughout history, most common folk had pretty small homes and would sleep together for warmth. So if mom and dad were in the mood, the rest of the family was kind of just there.
No, absolutely
VI,
not.
former king of Portugal, had a royal master. The inventor of the bra had a pet dog named Clitoris. Shel Silverstein, author of The Giving Tree, was good friends with Hugh Hefner and would regularly go to the Playboy Mansion. William the Conqueror smashed his balls on his horse's saddle and died shortly after. And if that wasn't bad enough, it was particularly hot outside on the day of his funeral, causing his body to swell up and explode inside the coffin.
Dirty history facts you didn't know about.
Wow.
In ancient Greece, large penises were associated with foolishness, which would explain why so many statues have tiny ones. Mary Shelley, the author of Frankenstein, lost her V card on the graveyard her mom was buried in. Mozart composed a song, which literally translates to "lick me in the arse." Irish author James Joyce wrote some pretty kinky love letters about farts. Dirty history facts you didn't know about PT.2. The vibrator was invented by doctors who were getting carpal tunnel from using their hands to give female patients orgasms as treatment for hysteria. Lyndon B. Johnson was notorious for showing off his penis, which he nicknamed Jumbo. In the 1800s, condoms were made out of fish and animal intestines. Tycho Brahe owned a tame moose that died after accidentally getting drunk at a party and falling down a flight of stairs.
If already, you know, the fish thing wasn't the problem, man. They making it out of fish? Is that shit being passed through DNA? Y'all know DNA pass information and shit. Is that what's happening? That's an epidemic in itself. It's an epidemic in itself, man. Well, that ain't some of y'all fault.
5 kinky facts from history.
Genetics.
The vibrator was originally designed and intended for men. The Tudors believed that both the man and woman had to finish for a child to be conceived. In ancient Greece, sex workers wore sandals which imprinted "follow me" into the ground as they walked. In the wild, wild west, homosexuality was not only accepted, but incredibly common. Hittite law
That's why they made that
between
movie
the
Brokeback
16th
Mountain.
to 13th century BCE explicitly allowed for copulation with the deceased. And for more scandalous facts from the past, keep joining us here at Kinky History. Kinky facts from history that you didn't know. Ancient Greeks used hardened breadsticks as bedroom toys and olive oil as lubrication. Condoms used to be made from the intestines of animals, from ancient Egypt into the 1800s. Homosexuality was common and encouraged on pirate ships, as women were not allowed on board. Foot tickling was a full-time profession in
I knew it, bro. It's not just prison, bro, that they out here doing that in there, busting cheeks and stuff like that. You feel me? Like, they was doing that on these boats. They been doing them cowboys. Y'all gotta look. Motherfuckers don't want to look at their favorite movies and their favorite types of movies like that. Them cowboy movies, them sailor movies and stuff. They was out there busting cheeks. It's okay though. They still men.
the 18th century. Catherine the Great had multiple ticklers on staff to help get her in the mood. Tentacle porn began in 17th century Japan as a way to avoid censorship laws. Sex workers were required by law to wear red lipstick in ancient Greece, and in ancient Rome, they were required to dye their hair blonde. Victorian men would pin the pubic hair from their lovers onto their hats. Albert Einstein was polyamorous and wrote about it openly in his letters. Join us at Kinky History for more scandalous lessons from the past.
When you think you heard it all.
Facts from history that you didn't know. Butt plugs were sold in the 1800s as a cure for headaches and insomnia. The first ring...
Hey, Doc, I ain't got no headache no more. I ain't got no damn headache no more. That shit dead. Hell nah, I'm cool on that part.
For a man's cock-a-doodle-doo was invented in 13th century China, and it was made from the eyelids and eyelashes of goats. At the time of its release, Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice was considered pornography. Ancient Roman women spent one long weekend every year outside of the marital bed. This was required by law to demonstrate their independence from their husband. The author of The Great Gatsby had a fetish for feet. Medieval women wrote and secretly distributed a guide on how to fake their virginity. Join us here at Kinky History to learn more saucy secrets.
These are dirty facts about history that will blow your mind, part 1.
Up first, Benjamin Franklin actually had a gilf fetish. He wrote a long letter to a friend advising of the benefits of taking an older woman as a mistress. His reasons were, they are more thankful for the attention, they are more adventurous than young women, they are experienced and don't have to be trained, and they are less likely to betray you in favor of another man. And he finally said that the face ages but the downstairs does not. My boy Benjamin was low-key a freak. Next up, ancient Egyptians believed that the god of creation made the world by masturbating, and viewed it as a magical act. The belief was the god Atum was completely alone on the planet until he ejaculated and all the living creatures on Earth were made. Finally, in ancient Greece...
That's not necessarily true, y'all, but, you know, I'm just gonna let this shit rock out.
Large penises were associated with foolishness, which explains why so many statues have extremely tiny ones.
These are dirty facts about history that will blow your mind, part 2.
Up first, Lewis and Clark kept journals detailing the violent diarrhea that they and their fellow explorers had. The explorers did not take a physician with them, and it showed. They graphically recorded all of their challenges, which also included chefed thighs, boils, and mosquito bites. One team member even died from his diarrhea. Next up, when Edgar Allan Poe was 27 years old, he married his 13-year-old cousin. They lived together in a public home before they were publicly married in 1836. Her age was listed at 21, and she died at 24.
Look at him. That looks like somebody that, like, you know, little girls. They got a certain look. Look at him. That's crazy. And why she died so early? He killed her, bro. It just looks like it. I'm just going based off of looks, you know? Like everybody else do. Like they look at me when I go into stores and they think I'm stealing.
Many people believe his book called The Raven was inspired by her illness and death. Finally, King Tut was actually mummified with a boner. When his embalmed body was discovered, his penis stood upright. They say he was buried like this to symbolize the political struggle of Egypt at the time.
Dirty facts about history that school probably didn't teach you, part 1.
Why he just couldn't have like a big swing and he just had an invincible swing, man? They just can't accept that. Let the man be.
In ancient Egypt, there was a parasite in the Egyptian rivers that would cause terrible pee-pee bleeding. But that parasite is what turned the boys into men. And in the 1930s, there was a trend among colleges in the US where students would attempt to swallow as many live goldfish as possible. Eventually, they created the International Goldfish Gulping Association, in which the all-time champion Joe Gilberto set a record of swallowing 89 live goldfish.
I remember
and
that.
During the Iron Age of Ireland, a new king would be crowned in a ceremony in which he penetrated a live horse in front of an audience. That same horse would then be eaten at dinner by everyone that just witnessed them getting down.
So look, we gotta think, man. Like, it's a lot of shit. Like I said, it's a lot of stuff about history, man, that they're not going to teach you. But as you know, growing adults and you know, our elders and stuff, we got to really understand. We got to see the bigger picture, man, of what's been going on for centuries, decades, whatever you want to call it, whatever time frame, years. You know, it's crazy out here, man, and we just all need to open our eyes up to like what's really going on. Decipher this information how you want to. Make sure that you fact check if you know you want to do further research on these things. If it's something on here that was inaccurate, put it in the comments down below. That's what this is for. It's to spark conversations. I have dope conversations with dope people, spread good vibes, and just tell the truth. But look, that's all it's about, man. I appreciate every last one of y'all for rocking with your boy once again. You know what I'm saying? And I'll see y'all again on the next video. And like I always say, spread love, because there's too much hate in this world. Love you guys. See you on the next video. And I'm out though. Bye.